Hi, just back from the gym. I had a Monday morning session. I thought I could sneak in before it got busy, but unfortunately, that wasn't the case. It was pretty busy in there. But it got me thinking about how I and how others will approach their routine, depending on how strict you are about your routine. Do you have it written down? Do you have every set planned, every exercise planned out? Which can be great 'cause it means you can just turn up and train. But what happens if you get to the gym and the piece of equipment you were planning to use is in use? Or you start the session, you're in good flow, you're training, blood's pumping, and then you go to the next machine. So you're doing like bench press, which is always in use, and it's in use. Seated row, it's in use. What do? Do you sit and wait? Do you cool down, waiting for that piece of equipment because that's what you've written down? That's your routine. Personally, I don't. I don't tend to have a strict routine per se. I know obviously what body part I'm training when I go to the gym. I tend to break down my training per body part into kind of two halves. The first half will be a compound based movement or a strength based movement. I'll go reasonably heavy for lowish sort of reps, 6 to 8, sometimes 4. If I get lower than 4, then I have to do a drop set or something. So I find that for hypertrophy below 4, it just doesn't it get you strong, but you're not going to get that development you're looking for as well. And then the second half of that body part I'm training will be the more, what would you class it as, like isolation sort of movements, higher rep. You're going for a pump, you're going to fill the muscle with blood. And I do like that combination of training styles for body parts. So, but going back to that, today I did back and biceps, the famous combination. And I like heavy seated rows, I like deadlifts, I like bent over rows, things like that for the first half of the session, chins and things. But if the seated row is in use, that's not a problem. I'll find a dumbbell row. There's plenty of other things you can do, and I would much rather just vary or do a different exercise or a different machine than just wait. Nothing worse. I want to get to the gym. I'll do my session about an hour or so for me, and then I'm gone. And I find if I wait, I cool down, I lose concentration, I lose focus, and that just translates into a bad set. So definitely, if you have something set in your mind or you've planned out your routine, you have to really learn some variety in the exercises. You have to be prepared to adapt. You have to be prepared to go with the flow while you're in the gym. It's not always going to be possible, especially at peak times. I mean, I thought Monday morning wouldn't be a peak time, but that's how I was speaking. So I've been training in a public gym, and yeah, so like seated row, for example, it was in use when I first got there, and I do like starting on seated row. And I really find that I get a lot of benefit from seated rows. It's one of my favourite exercises. But it was in use. Now, if it's the first exercise, maybe you could wait, go and warm up. You spend a bit more time on the treadmill or stretch I do some hyperextension sometimes, and that's okay. But if it's in the middle of the session, you don't want to just stop. You need to keep moving, keep the blood going, keep that momentum, keep that focus. In that case, I would definitely choose a different machine. Like normally, I'm not a big fan of the rowing type machines where you have a pad here, lean into it to do like a lat pull. Not a big fan of those because taking out the core and the lower back can be a little bit, I don't know. I'd like to bring in those muscle groups where possible. But today I did that with the pad. Okay, it's still a rowing movement, do it one armed, or what I will normally do, I put my feet firmly on the floor, and I won't actually lean into the pad at all. I'll try and keep like an inch gap, and that way I'm still getting that core and the lower back. And then you go to the higher reps at the end of the exercise. Maybe I'll lean into the pad and do those higher reps because then you can just really focus on the lats. Your lower back's had a bit of a workout from the not leaning against the pad. Then you lean into the pad and you can one arm bash out 15, 20, get a nice pump. Anyway, before I ramble on a tangent, really just the whole message of this short video was to be adapt. Just adapt when you're in the gym. If something's in use, don't wait, don't hang around. Sometimes people are happy to. When I was younger and going to the gym, it was much more common for strangers to work in together. Someone's using a piece of equipment, you'd say, "Oh, how long have you got left on that?" And they say, "Oh, I've got a few more sets." But you're more than welcome to join in because when someone's resting, the machine's not in use. Fine. I find people less and less keen to do that. Someone asked me last week how many sets I had left, and I said, "Oh, a few, but you're more than welcome to join in." He said, "No, no," went off and did something else. So fair enough. And it was a stack. It wasn't like we had to change plates. Anyway, what I'm saying is just keep moving, keep the blood flowing, keep training. Don't wait around for a piece of equipment. It could be 10, 15 minutes. You cool right down, and then have to get back training again. Um, anyway, that's how I would approach it. Definitely. On cheers.